Well, hello, everybody. Here we are again. It's Thursday for Audrey Live. Thank you for those who have come here today and those that are still coming on yet, logging in. Just excited that we can be with you again here today for Audrey Live. We've got some great things lined up for you today and just getting everything set up to make sure that we have what we need here. It's been a very crazy, busy week, that's for sure. We've had lots going on and lots of learning. This isolation is certainly making us think outside of the box, think of things that we need to be doing in our jobs and our daily lives. So yeah, just want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining me here today, Audrey Live, Thursday, 1 p.m. And we'll be doing that every week. It was something that I kind of thought of when we first started this whole pandemic, and I just wanted to find a way that we could keep connected with all of our people in the creative art industry and make sure that we just feel that connection. So just thought that this was an awesome way to do it, that we could just do a live every week. And it's kind of growing upon itself. And every week we'll continue adding things. Yeah, it was just kind of my answer to bringing the connection, bringing us together and just touching base, updating on what's happening in the industry with our educators, businesses, new products, new techniques, so that you could see it live here and get some ideas of what's going on. I just wanted to talk briefly. This week was the 75th anniversary of the liberation of the Netherlands. In 1945, Canadian troops came through a little northern village of Broekstewoude. Broekstewoude is where my father was born and raised. This is a picture of my dad now. So very, very proud of my mom and dad and all that they have gone through. And what they went through so many years ago in Holland, and how so appreciative they are, and also all of our family over in Holland for what the country of Canada did for the Netherlands at that time. My parents came over in 1956. Just want to show you a picture. Hopefully you can see that. So that's my mom and dad. The glare might not be so good. Anyway, when they're married at a train station, and this is in Montreal, coming off the plane in 1956. And then this one is a picture of my in-laws. So Peter's mom and dad, Peter and Corey DeYoung. Also a picture at wartime of the two of them when he just got, I think that's when he just went off to the war. And as well in Montreal getting off the plane. I think that was a typical picture that they did at that time. So just wanted to say a thank you to our parents and to the Canadian troops at that time and what they did for the country of Holland, the Netherlands. Another quick little thing that I wanted to, just a little something that I had seen, because as I say, businesses having to think of new ways of doing business. You know, you have to think outside the box, and we're always just trying to think of, okay, how can we, do something different, or at this point in time, from a brick and mortar store that now they're selling online. And a lot of the teachers nowadays are now doing classes online. So, there's way to do it. We just have to learn. We're all learning things again. So anyway, I saw this great story about a young boy. And he's 6 years old, and his name is Callahan McLaughlin. And he is from Saanich, British Columbia. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Saanich. Anyway, it said that he's had his own lemonade stand for years and years. I don't know how many years, but anyway. And this year he was thinking, I can't sell lemonade, but what can I do? So he came up with an idea, because he just wanted to keep his neighborhood connected, that he is doing drive-by joke stand. I just thought that was so precious. So there he is, sitting by in front of their house. And I guess people drive up and they just put down their window and he's got a joke of the day. So if you get a chance to go take a look, just I'll put the link in because it is very cute, and just information about that. So today we have a special guest for you. Tracy Moreau. She has been a great friend of mine and supporter of our shows for over 23 years now. She has taught and been an exhibitor at all of our shows, from our London show, our Toronto, Niagara Falls, Alberta, Moncton. She is from Fredericton, New Brunswick. She's classically educated in the arts, and she has been painting for over 30 years and teaching for 20 years, and is constantly stretching and advancing her skill set. Tracy is an active part of the DecoArt Helping Artists Program and a DecoArt Brand Ambassador. So let's welcome Tracy live here. Let's hope it's going to work, because it's been quite a process here getting things up and running. Ah, here we are. Yay. Tracy is an active part. You're there. Hello, Tracy.
Hi. There's a bit of a delay, I think.
It is a bit of delay, so you got to turn your phone volume off.
Yep,
so you don't hear yourself. And I'm just going to quickly look here. I see a lot of people that have come on.
There we go.
There's Debbie and Judy and Sonia and Heather, Linda, just saying hi to everybody out there. There's a bit of a delay when we're using Zoom to Facebook so that we can have guests on, and it's kind of neat, but also there's a bit of delay. So by the time it starts coming on my Facebook feed here, it's probably a minute or so into that I've already been talking. So you have to turn your phone off. So anyway, hi Tracy, and welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. This is fun. What a cool way to do this.
Yes, it is. It's been, like I said, it's been a bit of a process. I have to do a quick shout out to Judy and Ron Hampson, because Judy and Ron Hampson are dear friends of mine. We've been friends for almost 30 years. And Judy does a lot of work for me within Coast to Coast. She does all the catalogs and all the promotional stuff. And Ron's our IT guy. If there's any issues, he's there. So we did a bit of a practice, Tracy and I, the other day, but we hadn't really done like live to Facebook. So Ron and Judy and I were on for about an hour and a half last night and thought we had it. And then I did a practice this morning with Jason from AFCI, and it just kept logging me out after like 10 minutes. So I called Zoom, and then they kept hanging up on me, and then finally got a recording saying, sorry, we can't help you. So I called Ron and Judy. I'm like, help. We go live in an hour and a half, or in 2 hours at that time, I think it was. So this morning, I think it was another hour and a half that finally we got it to work after moving a few things around. So anyway, thank you, Judy and Ron. Quick shout out to you guys. I don't know what I would do without them. We all have those people in our lives that.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So what have you been up to, my dear?
Oh, goodness. Usually I'm off traveling somewhere at this time of the year. I'm usually like on the go. Between me and Sandy McTeer, the two of us, I think, are what keep the airlines in business at this time of year. So having our wings clipped and having so much time to spend at home, I thought I was going to have oodles of time, that I would be painting all the time and creating all the time. And instead I find myself, baking and making soup and lunch, and I have a house full. So I have everybody here. I have my husband and my son and my daughter all at home.
Oh, nice.
During this, which is really great. But it also means that I'm baking cookies once a week, and I'm making bread. And I'm not really getting as much creatively accomplished as I thought I would, but that's okay. Not a problem.
Oh, good.
I am still doing stuff, creating some stuff with DecoArt and working on some new projects with them as well. So we have lots of really cool and new stuff coming up in the next year. Constantly working on new stuff in that regard. I've had an opportunity to really play with the final draft of some of the new products that are coming out or are out.
Yeah.
And one of them is the DecoArt Suede. I am loving that paint. I mean, I got to play with it at a variety of stages during its development.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was a really cool idea, but the end result is really phenomenal. It's a really fun product to work with.
So
If
you have some things to show us.
I do actually. Well, first I'm going to show you the product. This is the DecoArt Suede, and it comes in those, those wonderful 8-ounce jars with the wide mouth. And it comes in some really traditional colors, things that would be normal to see in a suede, in the actual leather suede. And so we have these really rich and lustrous colors. So we have colors like suede and plum. There's a beautiful blue called Midnight Blue, which is a nice dark navy. So all of the colors have this really deep, I don't know, elegant look about them.
Yeah.
The suede color seems to be the one I gravitate towards the most because it looks like terracotta and I love that color. So I've been playing with a few things, and this one was this little lemon pot.
There you go.
Oh,
wow.
So the texture on the outside, it's a little bit sandy.
Yeah.
It's not super coarse. It reminds me, from a tactile standpoint, it reminds me of a fine sandpaper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not scratchy, but it is a little bit rough. It's a nice texture. And then when you put the ultra matte or the suede varnish over top of it, it becomes even softer yet. So it's a really nice finish
looking at it,
on almost anything.
Yeah, it does look like it has a bit of a suede.
It does. It does look like suede when you have it on. It's actually a really, really nice product to work with. It dry brushes beautifully. So if you want to put color over top of it and paint something, dry brushing highlights on gives it an even softer look. It's really a really fun product.
So it is easy to paint over top of the.
Oh yes, you would expect it to be a little bit on the rough side, but when I was tracing things on, not really a big deal. And then painting things, again, not a big deal. I even floated over top of it, and you get the texture, but it's not difficult to float over either. But the dry brush really gives it a great look. So it's a fun product to work with, and it'll stick to almost anything. I've put it on glass vases. I've put it on tin cans and plastic pots, and we've put it on furniture pieces and serving trays, and it works on almost everything with
almost every surface, like it's for any type of surface.
It's a really versatile product. You can use it in a variety of places. If you want it for outdoor use, you just put some exterior soft touch over top of it, or an exterior matte varnish over top, and it works just fine. It's a great product. I had so much fun with this that I painted a whole bunch of these pots. I got a little carried away. Go figure. I use pots a lot to hold brushes, so this was one of my favorites. Just to hold some of my little stubby brushes. Yeah. But I love the look and feel of this. It's just fun. So on my new website, I've got a section there called freebies. And so today we put up the instructional packet for this little rose pot. We call it the lemon pot, the DecoArt Suede lemon pot. So the pattern, the line drawing, and the written instructions are all on that freebie section on my website. So you can go and download it and paint pots to your heart's content.
Oh, perfect. I'll make sure we get that link after the feed.
Yep, absolutely.
There as well, so people can check it out.
Yeah. And the really great thing, if you're in Canada, Stockade carries this.
Okay, perfect.
And so does Country Bear in Quebec and in Eastern Quebec, in the Eastern Townships. They also carry this. But if you have a Michael's store in your local area, they carry it. So it's going to be an easy product for you to get your hands on. I believe the Michael's store is carrying 7 out of 9 colors.
Okay.
So they're carrying the top 7 colors, which is great.
Yeah.
So,
and I know Stockade is doing shipping right now, and I believe Country Bear is doing shipping as well too. So
I got orders from both of them today.
Yeah.
You have to have all the toys. So so this has been my product of choice lately to play with, is this DecoArt Suede, because it works on so many different things, and it's such an easy product to work with. You don't need anything special. The only one thing that I will recommend is to use a very inexpensive brush to put this on with. Don't use one of your top quality base coating brushes because of that texture that's in it, that little fine grit. It can get packed into your brush and it'll start doing weird and wonderful things. So I recommend using either a sponge type brush, or use a chip brush or something inexpensive that you're not too
Yeah.
worried about. But don't
How
use.
do you wash? How do you wash the brush out afterwards?
Oh, it's just simple. It's just same as always. It is a water-based acrylic product.
Yeah.
The only thing is that little texture, that fine grit that's in it can get stuck in your brush is pretty good. So that's why I recommend using it. But aside from that, just rinses out with cool water and a little bit of brush cleaner. Easy peasy.
Ah, very nice. That sounds.
Product.
And some new products coming out. You said that.
Oh,
so
we always have
when are we
something.
going to see? When are we going to see some information on that insider trading? You know,
We have actually got quite a bit coming up. You know, as usual, a lot of that stuff I can't tell you about for obvious reasons.
yeah.
But we do have product that was showing in Germany that has not come out yet. I know some people have had a chance to play with the iridescent varnishes. Those are phenomenal. I get weak in the knees over anything sparkly, so that stuff that stuff does it for me. One of my favorite products that I didn't expect to be a favorite product this year was the glass paint. I have never cared for painting on glass. It's just been one of those things. I always found it too difficult. The paint didn't want to stay. When I just didn't like it.
It's very tedious after like 8 or 9 coats, and it's still not the way you want it. Yeah.
So they decided they were going to create a new formulation for a glass paint, not the gloss enamels. This is a separate product called glass paint. It is wonderful. And coming from me, somebody who does not like to paint on glass, that says something. It goes on beautifully. It's highly opaque. The colors are gorgeous. They have a really nice selection. I think it's 24 colors, beautiful colors, all very trendy, very, very, very opaque colors. So you can do strokework flowers, one coat. You can base coat. It's beautiful stuff. I was so impressed with their new glass paint. That was the one that I anticipated wouldn't exactly thrill me, but yeah, I was proven wrong. Nice every once in a while. And the new glass markers, that's another product. They have an opaque glass marker, and they have it in 2 sizes. So they have one in a big bullet point and one with a fine point. So you can do large areas with them, and then you can also do some fine detail work with them.
Perfect.
So those are really cool. And then we have the DecoArt Suede and the DecoArt Silk. Now, Silk is the sister product to the Suede, and it's so pretty. It has a very fine metallic shimmer in it. So the reds look like red silk. The blues look like deep blue silk. They have this shimmer to them, this very subtle shimmer. And the silk and the suede were both designed for DIY and home decor projects. So I can picture some really beautiful Japanese style paintings on furniture and whatnot done with the silk.
There you go. A couple of people I see, they all like, I want that varnish. I want to try that varnish.
Oh, the iridescent varnishes are phenomenal. They're just beautiful.
Oh, and I forgot to remind everybody at the beginning to make sure that you share this, and you can even start a watch party with your friends. So,
oh yeah,
so that they can see, what's happening here. So please do that. Share and start a watch party for this.
And DecoArt Stan Clifford announced, sent a letter out to everybody yesterday, letting us know that DecoArt is going to be going back to operations. They're going to be doing it very slowly, so that they're going to go back into production and then back into shipping, but they are going back, and it will be in the very near future, which is exciting. So they will start shipping from the DecoArt website as well. Just be patient. It's going to take them a little while to get their processes running smoothly, but they are, as they quote, back in business, which is really great.
Fabulous.
So, yeah. So DecoArt is going back. I know that Dynasty Brush is also going back to work soon, but again, everything will go in increments, and everything will be done very slowly and with a great deal of care. So if you're ordering from
patience.
Yeah. So if you're ordering from those companies, be a little patient. It's going to take a little while for things to get moving. Also, the companies that are shipping for them, some of them have not gone they haven't stopped working, but their processes have been significantly slowed down in order to accommodate for the social distancing and so that their workers are safe. So I can only reiterate that people just be a little patient. It will get to you.
And with shipping right now, I know, people now, they're ordering everything online. So I know I was talking to our courier guy or the UPS guy the other day, and he said to me, it is worse than Christmas right now.
That's our postmistress said the same thing the other day. I just happened to see her. She was loading up the mail because we have community mailboxes because we're in the country. But she was saying, she said, it's as busy as Christmas, but they have half the staff in.
Yeah.
So it's, things are very, very slow and they are taking a long time to get things processed, but they are getting processed.
Yeah.
So they will get to you, they just have to be patient.
Susan Deacon says, patience, what's that? I'll just do shout. Hi, Sandy. Sandy McTeer's watching.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Marcia, Linda.
Oh my goodness.
Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Up there in Sudbury. We've got all sorts of people. Janet Cardinal out west and Pam. Joy. Hi, Joy. Long time. Bev. So there's all sorts of people here watching this morning. Or this afternoon. Well, it depends on where you are. Yes. I'm afternoon, but I mean, the ones on the West Coast, they're in the morning. So that's why we kind of chose the 1 o'clock time, just figuring it would be good for everybody. I was going to ask you, Tracy, what size do those come in? The suede and the silk?
They come in an 8-ounce and also in a 2-ounce.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if somebody just wants to try it, they can just get the 2 ounce.
You can always get the 2-ounce bottle and give it a shot.
Awesome.
Yeah. But you'll be addicted. I can promise you.
Good. I was actually going to ask you too, a question that maybe people don't know. When did you first get started in the industry and why? Little bit of background about Tracy.
A little background. Well, interestingly enough, I actually worked for the faux finishing, commercial industrial finishing industry. So we did things like hotels, casinos, and exteriors and things like that, murals and faux finishes and large scale type operations. We also packaged and manufactured some of our own product. And one of those products actually flipped over into the art and craft industry, mainly because I decided that, I was going to attend a decorative painting convention in Calgary, Alberta.
Actually, I think the first one you did was in London.
With the company, yes. But the first time I went to a convention was in Calgary.
Yes. Yeah.
And I made a bet with the owner of the company. And I told him that I could take that product to a trade show and I could sell it to the art and craft industry. And so he bet me that I couldn't. And he said, if you prove me wrong, I will pay for your trip to the convention. So I packed up some of our product into smaller bottles and put it into labels. And I brought with me 6 cases. And I sold out the first 3 hours of the show.
Wow.
And that was the first time I took Final Coat to a show. And it was your show in Calgary.
It was one of our first swoopy shows in London, Ontario. Southwestern Ontario Painting. Yep. That was many years ago.
Yep.
About 23.
I know. That's what you said. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
Well, this year is our 24th. Next year will be our 25th anniversary of doing shows. Yeah.
Wow.
Since that first show. So, and we haven't changed a bit, have we, Tracy?
No, not a bit. Haven't aged a day.
Another thing, what was your fondest memory during any of your creative journeys?
Oh, fondest memory.
I know there's probably many, but
there's quite a few, but I have one in particular. I met this lady. I'd taken a class with her a long time ago at an STP conference, long time ago. And I was just starstruck because I thought she was just the most amazing artist designer. And then last year at SDP, she came up to me and told me that I was a terrific designer. And that was kind of like having, your hero tell
Yeah.
you something like that. So yeah, my big one was meeting Peggy Harris for the first time. A
Yeah.
lady I greatly admire, and I have always admired her work. But the first time I ever met her was at an SDP conference, and it was a long time ago.
Oh,
I think it was in Charlotte. I want to say Charlotte, North Carolina,
yeah.
an STP conference.
Oh,
It's going back a ways,
yeah. Yeah.
probably 20 years or more.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's my big one.
And then we've already done, talk about playing what you're playing with. I wanted to talk just about a couple other artists a minute. One, because I see things on Facebook all the time, right? So
Yeah.
there's a few people that are doing quite a bit right now. And I talked about a few last week. One was Alicia Hart. You know Alicia very well.
Yes.
From Alicia Hart Metal Art. And she's from Calgary, Alberta. And she has quite a few videos out right now on Facebook and her YouTube. And the one that she just posted this week is about patina with a chemical solution on metal.
Yes.
I thought that was really kind of neat.
She does some of the coolest stuff.
I've had a couple of her things here. This is one that she did.
Beautiful.
And it's three-dimensional and it's just so neat. And then this one as well was something else that she had done.
She is so creative.
Yeah,
so creative.
Very busy. She has a wonderful YouTube channel as well to see lots of her designs and things like that. So and any news that you saw in the industry this week that was worthy of sharing? I know it's kind of like,
DecoArt going back to work is obviously good news. It's good news that any of us are going back to work.
Yeah.
But the company opening back up and safely getting back to something that resembles normal, that was big. What's the other thing? Oh, watching Andy Jones do his lunchtime things.
Yes.
I just love Andy. I think he's a hoot and a half. I've sat next to him at dinner and went home in tears because the man had me howling. He's so funny. But he is such a gifted teacher. So watching his videos is great fun. It's always entertaining, but he has so much knowledge and he shares it so willingly with I think they call it lunchtime painting or.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's painting with plaid or something like that. Does it on every day?
Just this little lunch break thing.
Yep.
He's fantastic. So, go and have a look, watch him. He has so much knowledge. And he's so willing to share it all. And at worst, you have an entertaining lunch hour. That's how I look at it. At worst, you have an entertaining lunch hour.
Oh, I wanted to mention to everybody I made a little announcement last week about our Pin It Canada Live.
That's
going to make an announcement too. Tracy is going to be on our live show, our live event. Actually, this is just our weekly, it's supposed to be a half hour, but I'm sure we've gone a bit over today because there's so much going on. But Pin It Canada Live will be a virtual live event. So, of course, we had our Pin It Canada that was supposed to be June 12th and 13th that we've had to postpone. So we just thought, we have to do something at that point in time.
Absolutely.
So on the Friday the 12th, we will have from noon till 5 will be same sort of idea. It'll be on Facebook. We'll have it'll be live streamed through Facebook with demonstrations of different techniques, different products. We hope to have some vendors on as well and maybe manufacturing companies that they can show us what they have, what's available, how to use it. Maybe even a couple of live shop or studio tours. There's all those shops that you've always wanted to see the inside or what's going on and don't have the opportunity. So hoping to get a couple of those on board. And just to keep things moving in our industry, keep moving forward and thriving and just keep that networking and sharing. So we're looking forward to having you on that as well, Tracy.
Well, I'll dream up something.
You got 6 weeks. I think
I got 6 weeks. I can dream up something.
So
in between all the cookie baking and the bread making.
Exactly. So anything else that you want? I think we're pretty close to wrapping it up here. Anything else that you can share with that? Now you were working on trying some new
Oh,
Mediums
yes.
there. What have you been doing?
Well, it's one thing, being a painter, especially an adult, my drawing skills have deteriorated from even just 10 years ago, because you don't use them in the same way. When we're developing patterns, we don't use our drawing skills quite the same way. So it's kind of been one of those things that I've been wanting to work on, but haven't really found the time to work on. So
And now you have the time.
now I have the time. So I broke up my sketchbooks and I broke up my graphite pencils, and I've really been quite excited about working with colored pencils. But it's not something you just jump into, buy a box of colored pencils and then go for it. There's understanding what types of pencils you need, what the differences between certain brands and certain types of pencils, what the differences are, how they function, and whatnot. It's the same as buying paint. It's like learning how to use ink as opposed to paint. It's a
What
totally new
brand you
medium.
want, what texture, consistency. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a completely new medium for me, something I had never worked with before, except maybe in art school, 30 some years ago. So I did an awful lot of research, watched an awful lot of tutorials, and again, trying to decide where my interest lies as far as that goes. And discovered I'm more interested in just learning the medium first before I focus on any one specific style.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at tutorials by Marian Jackson, who is amazing, by the way. Her patterns are phenomenal.
Where is she from, Tracy?
Pardon me?
Where is she from?
Marian is from the US. I'm not exactly sure where, but I know she's from the US. She's a beautiful work, absolutely beautiful work. She's an MDA. That should tell you something right there. Her work is extraordinary. And I've done one piece of hers so far. I couldn't choose something easy. I had to do the Kingfisher, which was a little bit of a challenge. And I used the wrong paper. And so I made it a little more difficult on myself than it should have been. But I'm really pleased with the results. And it's been exciting. I've been trying out different papers and trying out different pencils. I started out with a pack of 36 of the Faber-Castell. It's an oil-based color pencil.
Yeah.
I started out with that. I quickly realized that there's not nearly enough color selection in 36. So now I'm the proud owner of 120. I have the whole set now, so that I have everything and have a full range of colors. And it's surprising how many of them you use. So I started working on a new tulip piece last night for my own line drawing. We'll see how that goes. And just doing the leaves, I used 8 different greens.
Wow.
Just to do the leaves.
Yeah.
So
now
you can imagine.
Would you use that many with paints? Like, what's the comparison then between the paints and the?
I think I probably would have to get that level of realism that I'm going for. I probably would have. I most likely would have gone into the fluid acrylic for it, because the fluid acrylic has such an extensive range of nice transparent colors. Mm-hmm. And that's the interesting thing about the Faber-Castell, is that they are oil-based, but they're also a bit more translucent than, say, the Prismacolor. So although I have a set of Prismacolors too. And I use them in conjunction. The Prismacolor is a wax-based pencil and the Faber-Castell are oil-based. But the Prismacolor are a bit more opaque.
Oh, yeah.
So you can use them in different areas. The other thing is that Prismacolor also makes a line of pencils called Verithin, which is an ultra hard colored pencil. It's a much thinner lead. We call it lead, but the color inside it is much thinner. They sharpen to a very, very sharp point. So they're excellent for doing very fine detail. So, you're not just relegated to using just one. The neat thing is that you can mix the various brands to get various effects, which is really cool.
There's a little bit of investigation of what you want.
Yeah, it's learning what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And I pay attention when somebody like Marian Jackson says, work with this, but if you want clean, crisp edges, you got to have, or if you want this, you got to have. Yeah. I've been trying various blenders this week. So there are blending pencils. Prismacolor makes a colorless blender pencil for blending the wax ones. You
Yeah.
can use a Gamsol fluid with the oil-based ones, but I also learned you can use baby oil.
Oh,
But you have to use them in very tiny quantities, very small quantities, so that you keep control. Otherwise it stains the paper, or it breaks down the color too much and pulls it off. And so it's like anything else. You have to learn how to control the medium.
yeah.
So it's been exciting. It's been a bit of a challenge because it's not something I'm accustomed to working with. And fortunately, the teachers that I've reached out to have been very generous with answering questions. Marion Jackson and Janelle Johnson is another one, and Lydia Steves, our own little Canadian.
Yeah.
All exceptionally talented artists and designers, and
Say
are
hi
very.
to Lydia, because Lydia's watching right now. So
Oh, I
hi,
see. Hi, Lydia.
hi, Anna Marie. Hi, Debbie.
You know,
Hi,
so they've all
Kitty.
been extraordinary. So,
Yeah.
you know, we have so much time that we're not spending doing the things that we would ordinarily do, that
Mhm.
it's an ideal time to sort of stretch and expand our own skill set. And for me, I'm taking advantage of it because
Perfect.
I don't often have the time. So I'm using it appropriately, I hope.
Well, we look forward to seeing what's next, that's for sure. And look
Yeah.
forward to seeing Tracy on our Pin It Canada virtual live event.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Tracy. This has been great. We'll
It's
have
been
to do
great.
it again.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And next week, our guest is going to be Kim Evans.
Oh,
She's
awesome.
Emerald Creek out there in Okotoks, Alberta. I hope I say that right.
Okotoks, yeah.
Alberta. So she will be our guest next week, talking about some of the products that they have there at Emerald Creek.
They've got some cool new stuff too.
Yes, yeah, I was looking forward to that.
And Nicole
Yes,
Wright, she's got some amazing stencils and some new stamps and her fabulous papers. So
perfect. Well, we'll have to get her on the show pretty soon too.
yes,
then.
ma'am,
So she
you
can
do.
share. And I want to thank everybody for watching us here today on Audrey Live. And like I said, share and have a watch party with your friends so that they can learn all about the new products that Tracy shared with us. And everybody have a great week. And yeah, just be safe, be healthy, be happy, create, right? Right, Tracy?
Absolutely.
Just create. So, all right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Yeah. Bye-bye.